morning, folks. I'm a disturbed American today. Can hardly wait for the sun to come up so I can turn this camera on, speak my piece. Pre-warning, there's probably gonna be some language in here, and I can guarantee the YouTube algorithms ain't gonna like what I got to say. But for you people of my generation, you've seen a couple times where our country's has disappointed us. The incident at Waco, Ruby Ridge, a couple other things that happened through the recent history that kind of made you feel a little bit ashamed for your country. To be honest, about it spooked you a little bit. Some of y'all know that Waco was a deal with a man down there named David Koresh, had a cult. He was doing some bad things. But the way they assaulted his compound, a bunch of people died, didn't need to die. And at Ruby Ridge, FBI sniper shot through a door, shot a mother holding her baby. Another situation that didn't have to happen. And here I get stopped last night, and I did my normal perusal through the news. And I see that the FBI decided to raid a former president's house to keep up this witch hunt. Against Trump. He something to do with documents that they say he wasn't supposed to remove from the White House. And, you know, he's arguing the point, and what we've heard around the edges is up to this point in this investigation, he has cooperated fully with them. Anybody that's got a vague sense of vision can see exactly what's happening. They know the man is going to run again in 2024. They're doing everything in their power to stop him. See if they can hang a crime on him, he can't legally run for president. Well, since their little dog and pony show committee hearing, keyword on hearing, which is just another word for trial, fell flat on its face. You know, it might have had just a little bit more credibility if maybe they'd let some Republicans in there that disagreed with him. Instead of that, two Republicans on that committee, and they both were never Trumpers, hate Donald Trump's guts. And maybe if they'd let a little cross-examination of witnesses, it was a made-for-TV drama is what it was. You know, it's like Judge Judy Goes to Washington. And they It flopped. It just straight up flopped. The people that believed what they believed, afterwards they still believe what they believe. There's a couple of witnesses they had up there that they no sooner got out the door that it was proven that they were just lying through their teeth, making up stories out of whole cloth. So they kept dragging it out. They're probably gonna drag it out some more. Just they're hoping, they're grasping at straws that they can find something. Well, then somebody in the Justice Department got the bright idea, well, let's go raid his house. And this kind of thing's been going on with the FBI here for a few months. There's been a couple of Trump officials arrested by the FBI, and they don't come to their door and knock on their door when they know they're there and say, come with us. No, they wait till they're in the middle of a busy airport, and they want to get max embarrassment out of it. And this is where I'm feeling scared for our country, is that somehow or another we have managed to turn the Department of Justice, but in particular the FBI, into a political destruction committee. I mean, they're fully political. Tell me how they're going to go after President Trump for some papers, and they won't even acknowledge that they got Hunter Biden's laptop. And it's crystal clear what he was doing, but he's on the right side of the aisle, or pardon me, the left side of the aisle. We're in a bad place, people. They just passed this god-awful bill where they're going to hire 87,000 new IRS agents. For y'all people don't pay attention to the news, yes, I didn't stutter on that word, 87,000. Said, oh, but if you pay your taxes, you ain't got nothing to worry about. How many people do you know that's had dealings with the IRS where they think they did everything right? Either accountant made a mistake, or it's just poor record keeping, or they proved they were right to the IRS. But that doesn't stop the fact that they had to take off work, they had to take care of this, had to completely inconvenience their life to prove to the IRS. See, with the IRS, it's exactly the opposite of how America's supposed to be. You're not innocent till proven guilty. You're guilty till proven innocent. And if you cannot prove your innocence, they wall up your bank account. Or even worse, they can put you in daggum jail. Now they say they're going to hire these 87,000 agents so they can keep after the rich. Well, let me tell you, you go ahead and believe that. There's a couple hundred billionaires in the world. I don't know how many millionaires. But I guarantee you they don't need 87,000 agents to keep up with them. Dirty little secret of the IRS is there's a very high percentage, I believe that I've read, that's in the 80 percentile of the cases the IRS people they audit have to do with earned income credit. Well, to get an earned income credit, you got to be a pretty low income person. I can tell you exactly what the IRS is going to do. They're going to go after small businesses. And they're going to go after, you know, Joe middle class. And they're going to hammer you, you know, you took a deduction, we're going to audit you. You didn't include this form, we're going to audit you. And then they're going to nail you with fines, and they're not going after the rich. They don't want to mess with the rich. The rich can afford lawyers, and it becomes a long, drawn-out affair. I don't know how many of y'all have experienced it before, but you ever reached into the mailbox, pulled out your mail, gone through it, and seen a letter from the IRS, and instantly a chill runs down your spine? Now, as far as you know, you've done everything right. And then you get these damn politicians up there says, well, you shouldn't be scared of the IRS. Bullshit. You should be scared to death of the IRS. Because the IRS can hurt you. I'm a little bit off subject here. The FBI went into President Trump's house, and from what I understand from news reports, they cut all his safes open and just took boxes of documents out of there without documenting what they were taking. They just boxed everything up and took it out. Well, they better hope they find something. Because President Trump's going to run again in 2024. And if he runs in this environment, he will win. He'll win by a landslide. And I wouldn't take a plug nickel to be a government employee when he takes office. Because I can tell you, he's got nothing to lose. He can only serve one 4-year term. So he's not going for re-election. He's going to go through D.C. with a wrecking ball. Because I can tell you right now, if it was me, I'd flush the FBI out to a skeleton crew. Start over. It's truly shameful what they become. They're the highest level of police officer in this country. You know, police officers are, their main duty is to protect and serve. Not go on glorified political witch hunts for one party. You know, all the years we've been dicking with the Clintons and all the evidence we've had on the Clintons over the years. I mean, basically had them dead to rights on a bunch of things. We never went and raided one of their houses. You know, we never treated them like a common crack dealer. And both of them still walking around free. And Lord knows they're both crooks. A lot of people don't know it. If you ever talk to anybody that lived in Arkansas back when Clinton was governor of Arkansas, they used to call them the Arkansas Mafia. Because that's how they acted. And I can tell you the reason they hate Trump so much is he will not march to the beat of their drum. He cannot be bought. And that, for all you people that's like, but he sends out mean tweets. Some of y'all need to get a mean tweet. The reason I say Trump will beat Biden like a drum is they say, oh, you know, Biden beat him once, he can beat him again. It was a whole different world when Biden ran against Trump last time. We had a roaring economy. When Trump stepped out of office, the GDP was 6%. Now we've had 2 quarters of negative GDP. And Biden can say all he wants that he created all these jobs. Well, no, he didn't. These jobs are the jobs that came back after the lockdowns were over. They just were going to happen anyway. He deserves no credit for them. But like I say, it's a whole different world. I'd say there's more than enough people out there that will step in the voting booth and say, am I better off today than I was 4 years ago? I think not. But we've got a government that is 100% out of control. I just mentioned Biden's name because he's at the head of it, but he ain't the one running it. His old senile ass is just a puppy. You just can't see the strings. Who's running it? It's all those little woke people on his staff in his White House. Hard lefties. And they're the ones that just hate Trump with a passion. And they're going after anybody that won't march to the beat of their drum. And they don't go after you to prove you wrong or anything. They go after you to destroy you. They want you silenced. I'm sorry, people, that's not America. We don't silence people in America. He with the greater ideas wins. That's just the way this country's supposed to operate. And I mean, there's just so much stupid stuff going on. We're not quite at runaway inflation, but we're at awful high inflation right now. And what's our Congress doing? They're running another spending bill through. And don't let them tell you that it's Putin's price hike or it's because of the pandemic. Inflation comes around for one major reason. The government's, there's too much money in the system. And they're just printing more. Had they not passed these bills, we might have seen inflation roll over and actually start to level out. It's got to level out before it come down. But they'll scream it's coming down because the headline rate will come down. But that's just because year over year, like if they say the headline rate is 8.5%, well, it was 9.1% last month, so it's coming down. Well, no, because last year it was coming up, and it's just a just the way the statistics work, it's still high. It's still way too high. You almost got to watch the month to month now to tell if it's still going up or going down. When you see that month to month take a negative number, inflation's going down. And it's going to be a while before that happens. And if that whole crew of drunken sailors up in Washington don't quit their bullshit, it ain't gonna come down for a long time. When this country gets in economic trouble, the absolute best thing the government can do is get the hell out of the way and let the people knows what they do and fix it. As much as you may hate big business or whatever, they know how to fix it. There's one thing you can do to fix it, though. We got so many problems going right now, it's unbelievable. Our southern border is just wide open. We got criminals damn near beating people to death in the streets in big cities. Of course, the whole the economy, and those three are the majors. There's a lot more. Those are three of the major. Oh, inflation. Let's not even forget about inflation. Come this November, hopefully, you're going to step into a voting booth. And I want you to remember all this stuff. I want you to remember what these elite bastards have done to us and what they've done to our country. Then I want you to pull the lever and vote them elite bastards out of office. We're going to get one next week. Old Liz Cheney, the Republican, she's her primaries next week. She's gone. She was a turncoat Republican that voted to impeach Trump. And to a bunch of us Republicans, if it's the last thing we do, we're going to flush those turncoats down the proverbial electoral toilet. It's going to happen. I don't think old Liz Cheney could run it for dog catcher as a Republican right now and win. That's all I can think of right now. Still pretty angry about it. I'm sure there was more I wanted to say. So this probably won't be the last video on this subject. I know this is a trucking channel, and but sometimes you just got to push everything aside for the things that are important. And this is important. Today, for the quote of the day, I'm going to give you a real quote. This isn't an exact word for word, but you'll get the gist of it. Basically, it's a man that gives up liberty for safety deserves neither. I thought that was a particularly good quote for today. But y'all have a fine day. I'll catch you on the flip side.